Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be taking a look at all the different ways you can break Micah out of jail. Are there any differences? Are the outcomes any different? In a video I did about a week ago, we dove into sort of the secret details and the backstory of this mission that this occurs in, Blessed Are The Meek, where Micah actually does a rampage through Strawberry just to get revenge on one of his old, bank heisting guys. His name was Skinny or Norman. He went inside, he killed him, he killed his wife Maddie, and we talked about how as a result of that, they actually had a son who they left kind of as an orphan. All he had was his dog. And it was a pretty cool video. I'll leave a link to that in the description. But a lot of the comments were like, whoa, I didn't even know you could break Micah out of jail that way. So we're going to be diving into all the ways you can break Micah Bell out of jail in the mission Blessed Are The Meek and seeing what's the best way and are there any differences. So for starters, there are two ways to approach this mission. You can either go to Micah at the side of the jail in the window, or you can choose to go inside. They will trigger different cutscenes. This is what happens if you go inside and try and talk to the sheriffs first.
Yep.
Hello, sir. I've come from Blackwater. I'm on the trail of a dangerous gang. Colm O'Driscoll. Heard you had some sort of incident.
We don't deal with bounty hunters around here, son.
I was just wondering if I could get a description.
Well, they weren't friends. They got in a fight, 2 men got killed. Now, one of them's an idiot, the other's some kind of dumb mick, so maybe them's your boys. You can look right enough when we hang them.
Thank you, Sheriff.
So that's what happens if you go inside and talk to the sheriffs. However, if you decide to talk to Micah first, this is the cutscene that he will have with you.
Arthur! Arthur!
Hello, old friend. Had a good time, did you?
You going to get me out of here?
I ain't decided yet.
Real funny.
Oh, I ain't joking, cowpoke. I heard so much bluster out of your mouth these last 6 months, and now I got an opportunity to watch you be silenced.
Well, you gotta do something.
Why?
I always looked up to you, Arthur.
Well, that's your first mistake. Listen, there's one little problem. There's only one of me, and there's a whole town full of people wanting to see you swing.
You got to do something, Arthur. You got any dynamite?
Okay, so the first way that you can break Micah out of jail is actually using this thing called a steam donkey, which conveniently for us is located literally right next to the jail window. You would think the Strawberry sheriffs would have said, that's not a great idea, but all you have to do is go over to it. You have to put the hook onto the window, and then you have to go over to the steam donkey and crank it up. And doing so will literally rip the window off, and then this will happen.
Let's get out of here, come on. What the hell are you doing?
He wasn't O'Driscoll.
So as you guys heard the sheriff say, Micah was in jail with an O'Driscoll, and once Arthur hands him a gun, he literally turns around and shoots him in the face. So that's the first method right there. The next way that you can do also involves staying outside of the jail. This time, however, it involves dynamite. And something interesting happens when Arthur actually pulls out the stick of dynamite.
You might want to step back a bit.
So wouldn't it have been convenient if Micah had just stayed by the window and the dynamite would have accidentally blown him up? We can only wish for something like that. But then you simply blow up the window with the dynamite, and once again this will occur.
get out of here, come on. What the hell are you doing?
He wasn't O'Driscoll.
So again, same outcome. You give the gun to Micah, and then he ends up shooting the O'Driscoll. So those are the two ways in which you can break Micah out of jail from the outside. However, there are ways in which you can break him out of jail from the inside. This would require going back in to the sheriff's office. Now, they are going to be quite hostile with you, so you will need to end up taking them out.
No, we're done here. Just get the hell out. God damn it, take that son of a bitch down!
Now, there's two alternatives here. The first alternative is if you don't bring the keys downstairs. Micah will have this to say.
Arthur, you got the keys?
No.
Check their pockets upstairs. Come on, hurry.
So it's pretty obvious where the keys are, but he does end up telling you where to get them, and you have to go back upstairs and grab the keys. They're either going to be on one of the lawmen or on one of the desks of the sheriff's office. And then once you actually bring the keys back down, this is what happens if you open up the cell.
Ah, thank you, friend. Now give me a gun. Hey, you. Lie down.
Why the hell you do that?
I'll tell you later.
Come on!
So once again, Micah doesn't even give the O'Driscoll the chance to escape. He shoots him in the face right on the spot. This guy is insane, let me tell you that. And the final way in which you can go about breaking Micah out of jail is very similar. We're going to get the keys, but this time instead of waiting on Micah to tell us what to happen, we just simply grab them from the lawman at the start and then bring them down to the cell, which will allow us to break Micah out. Now, again, you can loot all of the lawmen here. You aren't going to get anything spectacular other than some ammo, some tonics, and some money, but it's not a lot. And there's not a lot in the desk either. You can search that too. Now, one thing that is kind of interesting is even if you shoot all three of the sheriff officers in there, you can stay in the sheriff office for an infinite amount of time, even though it says wanted dead or alive. The Strawberry's not going to send reinforcements until you free Micah, until you go outside. Now, I'm sure a handful of you guys are going to be wondering, well, what happens if you just leave Micah in jail? Well, unfortunately, that isn't possible. You obviously have to complete this mission to progress through the rest of the game. And if you decide to start this mission and leave the town of Strawberry, the mission will fail. So there's no way for you to like go up to Micah and say, hey, I'm here, and then just ditch and bail out the back. That doesn't work that way. Doing that will cause the mission to fail, and obviously you'll have to restart the entire thing. And then, of course, from there, the rest of the mission plays out like normal, where you essentially just go through the town of Strawberry on a giant rampage, and Micah ends up going into Skinny's house, and then you end up riding off. It's the exact same thing. So those are all the various options that you have, at least that I've tested so far. Now, another thing I'm sure you guys are wondering about, is there a way in which you can do this that doesn't get you a bounty? The answer to that is no. And this is something I know a lot of people are frustrated with in this mission, because Micah goes on this rampage and you're the one who ends up paying for it. You know, you're forced to kill all these lawmen, and it ends up getting you a pretty significant bounty. There's no way in which the sheriffs and the town folk do not become aggravated on you, and there's no way to avoid the bounty. I mean, I've seen some people rack up a $300, $275 bounty just from having to do this to save Micah. So that is really unfortunate. The only way I could see you not getting a bounty is instead of talking to the sheriff officers first, you just straight up go to Micah, and then you put your mask on maybe before using the steam donkey or the dynamite. I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll test out in a future video. But for this one, I just wanted to focus on all the different ways you can get him out of jail. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which one was your favorite? Now, I'm sure we would all raise our hands if we could and say we'd love to leave Micah in jail. But what did you think was the best way of breaking him out? Was it the steam donkey, the dynamite, getting the keys, and breaking him out that way? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.